start your day with movement. All you need today is a mat. Keeping it simple. Hope you guys enjoy your Saturday, and hope it's even better because you started with some movement. So we're going to start up on our feet. Standing with our feet parallel. We'll go a little bit of an angle today. You're going to tuck your chin in first. Really work at rounding your back. Go reach for your toes as far as you can, keeping those legs straight. And then you're going to try to squat down as deep as you can. You can always go a little bit wider with your feet if you need to modify, but our goal here is to keep our heels nice and flat. Then you're going to go reverse. You're going to go bum up first. Hold that stretch for a sec and slowly unroll one vertebrae at a time. And repeat. Look up. Then tuck your chin in. Roll down one vertebrae at a time. Hold. Deep breath in and out. This time walk your hands to the left. Walk them back to the center. Walk them over to the right. Walk them back to the center. Go into your deep squat, or as low as you can. Then try to bring your right arm up. Rotate to the right to look for your fingers. Back down. Left. Back down. And up. And unroll. Look up for the ceiling. Tuck your chin in. Roll one vertebrae at a time. Really allow your spine to round as much as possible. We're trying to freely move. Walk those hands over to the left. Come back to center. Walk your hands over to the right. Come back to center. Squat down. Rotate right arm. Look for those fingertips. Come back down. Rotate left arm to ceiling. Look for those fingertips. Come back down. Try to bring both arms up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in and out. Should feel your upper back lighting up. Breathe in and out. Bring those hands down and bum up first and unroll one vertebrae at a time. You're going to go wide straddle. Try to go wider than your shoulders. We're going to work on our hip hinge, or this is also called a water bird. You're going to put your hands out to the side. Your goal is to touch the wall with your bum behind you as you keep a nice neutral spine and come back up. So try to think about leading your movement with your hips instead of leading with your chest. I'm going to go sideways so you guys can see. This is A, leading with my bum. My chest will follow because it's attached by its spine. Versus leading with my chest. See how my bum hasn't moved, but all my weight is forward onto my toes? So trust me, your chest will follow. Unless you have spine. Really work on moving your butt bone as far back as you can, and then coming back up. If you're really struggling with that, put your hands on your hips. Feel your bum move back. You should be squishing your fingers with your stomach and your thighs, and coming back up. We're always breathing. 2 more. And 1 more. This time at the bottom, stay down there. Put your hands on the floor. We're going to push through the floor with our right hand. Rotate left hand and chest as far up to the ceiling. And come back down. And switch. And come back down. That's 1. We're going to do 5 per side. 2, 3, if ever you were unable to reach the floor, put a yoga block underneath your hand. Last 1 here. Beautiful. You're going to stay in that wide straddle. Your hands are both on the floor. You're going to walk your hands and bum over to your right side, and then stay nice and low as you transition to your other side lunge. And then stay nice and low. We're opening up the hips, controlling a deep sumo squat into a deep lateral lunge. Remember, if you're less flexible, you could always be up here. Try Trying to really keep our bum as low and in between our heels as possible. We've got one more each side. Come back to the middle. Thumb up in the air. Cross your hands and grab your elbows. Try to drop your elbows to the floor. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Breathe in and out. Last one, breathe in and out. Place your hands back on the floor, bring your feet together, and roll yourself back up. Beautiful. We're gonna work on some single leg deadlifts today. I'm not looking for form on these single leg deadlifts. We're gonna do it in a clock motion. I'm really just getting you to learn to move and rotate at different angles inside of your hip socket. So we're not lifting weights, don't worry about form. Your goal here is to really challenge at what angle you can go touch the floor. So we're gonna start on our right foot. For those of you who are new to single leg deadlifts, it is a deadlift or a hip hinge, but you're standing on one leg. So typically your leg would come back, think more of like a teeter-totter, and your chest comes down at the same time. We're gonna do a we're gonna do a floor touch. If you're really unable to touch the floor, put some cones on the floor or pillows, anything that has a little bit of height. Right leg on the floor first. We're gonna go right hand. Our goal is gonna go to 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and come back up. We're coming back up in between each one, and then we're gonna do the same thing but with our left arm, and then we'll switch legs. So right foot on the floor, right arm first. We're gonna go to 3 o'clock. Try to go as far over as you can, touch the floor, and come back up. 12 o'clock, reach as far forwards as you can, and come back up. If you need to, put your foot on the floor in between. And then we're going to 9 o'clock. You're really going to be twisting over and coming back. Same thing, left arm. Let's go back to 9 o'clock. Twist over, touch the floor, come back up. 12 o'clock. And 3 o'clock. And back up. Beautiful. Switch sides. Left leg, right arm. We're going to go to 9 o'clock first. So I'm crossing over as much as I can and coming back up. 12 o'clock. And 3 o'clock. These are the tricky ones, the twisty ones. So you're really working on ankle, knee, hip stability, and you're trying to go at different angles because life happens at different angles. We're not always in a nice static up and down motion. So it's really important to work at catching your balance at different angles, especially with the ice out, or if you're chasing little kids around. So now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do our right arm. So you're going to cross over, touch the floor, come back up, reach forward, come back up, and twist over and come back up. We're going to repeat so you guys get a chance to practice. Right leg, right arm, 3 o'clock, come back up, 12, back up. This time for real 9 o'clock, and back up. Left arm, 9 o'clock, come back up. Ooh. Still working on my right hip stability. 12 o'clock, and 3 o'clock. Back up. Switch, left leg, left hand, 9 o'clock. Remember, we're just exploring movement. You don't have to be perfect at this. Come back up. 3 o'clock, back up. Left leg, right arm, 9 o'clock, twisting over, folding over, back up. 12 o'clock, back up, and 3 o'clock, and back up. Excellent. We're going to go down on one knee. We're going to do a little bit of ankle work. Maybe I have to back up so you can see my foot. But in a half kneeling position. So if ever you're unable to be on one knee, you could always do the same drills in a sitting position on a chair. Otherwise, try to practice putting weight on your knee so it becomes less sensitive to have your weight on it. So just sitting up nice and tall, we're gonna go into a calf raise and then a dorsiflex. You're gonna be pulling your toes up. So we're working the front of the shin and the back of the shin. So push through the floor, go up on your tippy toes, bring your heel back down, lift the toes up, heel back down. Calf raise, toe raise. That's 2. Calf raise, toe raise. 3. When you do your calf raise, make sure your ankle is not rolling out. So try to keep the middle of your ankle lined up with your second and third toe. Toe raise, calf raise, toe raise. 1 more each. Calf raise and toe raise. This time we're going to do inversion and eversion. So most people roll their ankles in inversion. Bring your foot back flat and eversion. So I'm trying to pull the inner arch or inner side of my foot off the floor. Bring my foot back flat and then pull the outside of my foot off the floor and back. Inversion, eversion. Looks like you're doing like a side ab crunch, but in your lower leg. 1 more each. Beautiful. The other day I introduced you guys to toe waving, so we're going to try our toe waving in this half kneel position. So you're going to push your big toe into the ground, try to lift those 4 toes off the floor, then switch. So push the 4 toes into the floor and lift the big toe, and switch. If ever you're really struggling with this, don't be afraid to use your hands as assistance. If you're not used to moving your toes around, this is going to be incredibly frustrating, but I believe in you. Super good for foot health, knee health, hip health, low back pain, you name it. We spend our time on our feet. So we want to make sure that our feet have really good function. 1 more each. Big toe up, 4 toes down, big toe down, 4 toes up, and foot flat. And switch. So we have our calf raise and our toe raise. So make sure that in your half kneeling position, you're trying to keep your hips stacked above your knee, ribs stacked above pelvis. We're trying to avoid hanging out on the front of our hip, trying to keep a nice stacked position. So we're going to go up into our calf raise, down, and lift the toes without rocking back, right? So the only thing moving right now is my ankle, and my knee moves up as I go up onto my toes, but the rest of my body is not rocking to assist me. So really try to find whatever true range of motion you have control over right now, instead of trying to compensate to go higher. Let's do 2 more. Up, down, toes up, down. Last one. Calf raise, heel down, toes up, down. Inversion, eversion. So you're going to lift inversion. You're going to lift inside foot off the floor, bring it back flat, lift outside off the floor, bend flat. In and eversion. So you're trying to pull that side of your foot up to meet your knee, back down. Pull the outside of your foot up to meet your knee and back down. You will have more range of motion in inversion than you will in eversion, just with the way our ankle is structured. So don't stress about that. Let's do 1 more each. And outside. And then our toe waving. So big toe down, 4 toes up, and switch. You should feel your arch of your foot's working, so both on the inside arch and the outside arch. Just switching back and forth, trying to get comfortable moving our feet in all these different motions. Waving hello with our toes. 1 more each. Big toe up, 4 toes down. Big toe down, 4 toes up. And bring our foot flat. Excellent! Straighten out your mat. If you had it curled up like I did, and if you were sitting on a chair, then you're going to come back to your mat, and we're going to go do some wrist work. So you're going to spread your fingers out on the floor. We're going to start with 3 and 9 o'clock, and we're going to push ourselves from side to side. And then this time we're going to add, put this angle so you guys can see. This time you're going to add going up onto your knuckles. So I'm going to push myself over to my right, go up onto my knuckles, come back down, and push myself to my left. Come up onto my knuckles, come back down, and push myself to my right. And back down. And switch. Back down. 1 more each. Side, lift, down, side, remember, we want our fingers spread, but we want our index pointing up towards the ceiling, or, well, ceiling for me, but in front of you will be the wall in front of you. And this time we're gonna add going up onto our fingers. So we're gonna lean forward, go up onto our knuckles, and then go up onto our fingertips. Then drop down to our knuckles and drop down to the palm. So yes, a very different motion for you guys, unless you are gymnasts like me. Otherwise, go with what you can. Remember, these are times that we explore movement, explore different joints in our body. If you don't work with your hands, then this is probably quite different and maybe a little bit stressful, but you get to control how much weight you apply to your fingertips and to your hands. Lean forward, knuckles, fingertips, knuckles, palms, rock back. Rock forward, knuckles, fingertips, down and down. Beautiful. Turn your hands so that your fingers are pointing to your knees as much as you can, and you're just going to rock forwards and backwards to start. Remember, we're pushing our fingertips into the floor. It will give you more of an activation of your forearms. You'll also probably feel a little bit more of a deeper stretch or tension. Rocking forwards and backwards. And then now you're going to rock side to side. Try really leaning over as much as you can. Explore how far you can really take your joints before you feel any pain or discomfort. Maybe you don't feel any pain, you just feel super weak out in those wider angles. So take your time, don't fall over. And then our last one is going to be back of hands on the floor, fingertips pointing towards our knees, and we're going to try to make some fists. So try to take note on how small your fist is. If you've been following along every day, you should see that your range of motion is improving. Open, close. One more fist. Beautiful. We're going to do a little bit of a hip complex to bring this all to a close. So you're going to go right knee up first. We're going to lean forwards, put both our hands on the ground, take our left hand to grab our foot to do a quad stretch. So your pelvic tilting. If ever that's too much for you, put your forearm on your top thigh, and if that's still too much for you, then stay in your half kneeling position, tuck that tailbone under, and hold your stretch from there. So you have three options. You can roll around from side to side, kind of bring your back foot from 3 to 9 o'clock to get different fibers in your quad. Bring your hands back down to the floor. Bring your back knee up off the ground. Rotate that right hand to the ceiling. Bring it down to the floor. Try as you drop your hips. And repeat 2 more times. Rotate to ceiling. Drop the elbow and the hips. Once more. Rotate. And drop. Place both your hands on the floor. Try to lift your hips up. Straighten out the legs as much as you can. If you need an added stretch, rock your front foot off the floor and try to bring your nose to your knee. If you feel like your hips are rotated up towards the ceiling, bring that left hip down towards the floor, trying to keep a nice parallel pelvis with the ground. And back down. Switch sides. Left knee in front this time. You're going to lean forward, grab your back foot for your quad stretch. Remember the alternate options I already gave you. Work on taking some nice big deep breaths. And then when you're ready, you can rock from 3 to 9 o'clock so that you get a little bit more adductors or inner thigh. And then when you get to the outside of your thigh, you're still your quad, but a lot of people feel like they have, when they roll out their IT bands, that's another discussion, but you're stretching the outside of your quad. Bring that back foot back down to the floor, back knee off the ground, left arm rotate up, then drop your elbow and hips down towards the floor, and back up. 2 more times, rotate, and drop, and rotate, and drop. If this is already a big stretch for you, hang out there. You could always rock forwards and backwards instead of statically holding a stretch. Do what feels good and comfortable today. As long as you're taking those nice big deep breaths, I'm happy. Beautiful. And bring that back knee down. And then we're going to go sit on our feet to do our breathing today. Remember, your focus is still really expanding your upper or your mid back. So for you ladies out there, think about below your bra line. If you're really struggling to feel that, you could always go into a nice tiny ball. So now if you try to lift your chest up, you're going to feel that your chest comes off your legs. Whereas if you really keep your forehead on the ground and really force the breath at your bra line, just below your bra line, you'll see that it may be even a little bit harder to take your breath, so then you're really focusing on opening up that posterior side. I'm going to count you in. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. If you want to continue breathing because that's feeling really good, please continue. Thanks for joining me again for a 20-minute movement flow, and I will be live on the Fitness Lab Instagram account tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Have a wonderful day, guys. Go outside, enjoy the weather, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.